Hello children, I welcome you to your history session. Last class we have completed the first organ of the government, that is the legislative organ. Okay, we call it the Indian Parliament. This class will be reading about the executive organ. So who forms the executive? Who constitute the executive? The President of India, the Vice President of India, the Prime Minister and the Council of Ministers. They form the Union Executive. Very clear? So today's topic will focus on the Union Executive, the President of India. Our Constitution creates an office of the President. Who is the President? He is the head of the executive. He is also head of the state and the first citizen of the country. Right? Okay. So however, the form of government is not but presidential. Our government is parliamentary system of government. Therefore, the president is act on the advice of the Council of Ministers headed by the Prime Minister. Very clear? Now let me show you a video where you can watch detail in between. I'll be explaining you.
The President of India holds the title of the head of the state. He or she is also the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces. Like any other job position, the President of India also has to fulfill a set of criteria to be considered for the position.
Now let's discuss. Any layman cannot contest the presidential election. Okay. So what are the qualifications required to contest the presidential election? You all know it very well. Must be a citizen of India. He must attain the age of 35 and above. Must be qualified to become the member of Lok Sabha. Must not hold any office of profit under any government. And must possess such other qualifications as may be prescribed by the law from time to time. Then only the person can contest election. That person must be proposed by 50 members of the electoral college, consist of MPs and MLAs, and seconded by another 50 members. Okay, so then only the person can contest election. Now watch.
The person should be a citizen of India. He or she should be at least 35 years of age. The person must be eligible for election as a Lok Sabha member.
First of all,
it is also important that the person does not hold any office of profit under any of the government bodies. Electing a president directly is not feasible in India due to the vast population.
So that is why due to vast population, it is difficult for conducting the presidential election. So that is why the President of India is elected indirectly. Okay. So what are the reasons why then the President of India is elected indirectly? And how is he elected? He is elected by an electoral college consist of the legislative members of the Legislative Assembly of all states. That means all the MLAs of the states, they take part in the presidential election. And the elected MPs are the member of the parliament of both the houses of the parliament and the members of the all union territories. They take part in the presidential election. Okay, they form the electoral college by which the president is elected.
President is therefore indirectly elected through an electoral college which gives a clear representation to all states. The electoral college comprises elected members of all the legislative assemblies, the council members of National Capital Territory of Delhi and Puducherry Union Territory, and the elected members of the Lok Sabha and the Rajya Sabha.
That means the MPs and MLAs, they take part in the presidential election.
Do you know how the value of the vote of each member of the Legislative Assembly is derived? Let's look at an example. Let's take a state that has a population of 10 lakhs and the number of elected MLAs in the state is 40.
So how the value? The total population, suppose the state is 1 lakh and total number of elected MPs 250. So the value of a vote can be derived in the following way: 1 lakh divided by 250, okay, by 250 divided by 1000 is equal to 40. So the value of a vote of each member of the Legislative Assembly for the 2017 presidential election varied from state to state. The lowest value in respect of Sikkim 7 and the highest Uttar Pradesh 208. This way, the value of a vote.
First, divide the population of the state by the total number of MLAs. That is 10 lakh divided by 40, which comes to 25,000. Next, divide this quotient by 1000. The answer is 25. This means that each member of the Legislative Assembly gets 25 votes. Let's see how the value of the vote of each.
Now I must tell you how the value of a vote of an MP is considered. The total number of votes assigned to the MLAs of all states divided by total number of elected MPs. So the value of a vote of each member of a parliament, both Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha. Okay, for example, I am giving you in 2000 what happened for the year 2017 presidential election was 708. Okay, so the election, the president is elected by secret ballot according to the system of proportional representation by single transferable vote system. That means under this system, all the candidates are listed and the electors give them numbers according to his preference. That is called single transferable vote system.
Elected member of the parliament, that is an MP, is obtained. The value of a vote of a member of parliament or MP is obtained dividing the total vote assigned to all MLAs of all states by total elected members of the two houses of parliament. A presidential candidate has to be proposed by at least 50 members of the Electoral College and seconded by another 50. The candidate should also pay a sum of money as security deposit. This deposit will be forfeited in case the candidate fails to secure 1/6 of votes from the elected members. In case of a dispute arising in connection with the election of President, the Supreme Court of India.
So, in case of a dispute arise for the presidential election or vice presidential election, the matter settled by the Supreme Court of India. The final say lies with the Supreme Court of India.
Has the final say. The Chief Justice of India administers the oath of office to the President before assuming office. The President is paid a monthly salary and yearly allowances to maintain his or her personal secretariat. The President also gets a rent-free usage of the official residence, the Rashtrapati Bhavan. The term of office for the President of India is 5 years. If the President wishes...
Okay. How long the President hold the office? For 5 years only. Okay. And he is eligible for re-election. But he may resign. Suppose he doesn't want, because of his ill health, okay, he doesn't want to continue for 5 years. So he may resign by writing to Vice President. His resignation go through Vice President to the Speaker of Lok Sabha, So he communicated his resignation by the President to the Speaker of Lok Sabha. The first President of India had unique distinction of being elected second time. Okay, and he remained in the office from 26 January 1952 12 May 1962. Now let's come to know when can the president seat fall vacant. Is it clear? So what are vacancy of the president? When can the seat of the president fall vacant? In case of expiration of the term, in case of resignation, in case of impeachment, in case of death or illness. So what do you mean by impeachment? That is a constitutional procedure to which the president is removed from the office, okay, for violation of the constitution or inefficiency or incapacity or misbehavior.
Resign, that the resignation letter is addressed to the Vice President, who in turn informs the Speaker of the Lok Sabha. The President can be re-elected to office after his term of 5 years has ended. The President may be removed from office due to violation of the Constitution through a process called impeachment. The following 12 presidents have held office until date.
So Ramnath Kovind is the 14th President of India. So not yet this impeachment procedure is clear conducted for any of our previous presidents. Very clear. So what are the procedures? So how can this impeachment succeeded? How can this impeachment succeeded? First point number one. Or what is the constitutional, tell me the system of the impeachment through which the president is removed from the office. Point number one. The resolution to impeach the president can be moved in either of the house. Then, where it is originated, the resolution has to be passed by 2/3 majority in that house. Then it is sent to the other house for investigation, where the president has powers to meet the charges or may be defended by a counsel. We can stop here. Next class we'll discuss again. Thank you all.